Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Stacy. If anybody is new, thank you so much for joining me. My slogan is Believable Brown Beauty. I am the Ronsil of the YouTube world. I like to do believable brown beauty. I do live Get Ready With Me on Sunday mornings at 9:30 GMT, so I'll leave my Instagram handle for you here. If you fancy seeing me do makeup in real time, please pop along. Also, I like to use makeup in slightly unconventional ways at times. If that sounds like something you'd like, please keep watching. Okay, on to today's video. This is me pushing it. It is Sunday afternoon. This has to be up Sunday night. I'm just filming it now, so this is kind of like real-time YouTube. But I have had quite a few requests to do a how to highlight and contour video. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's get straight into the makeup. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna go and start off with skin. I'm using my Cover FX Power Play foundation and I've gone back to G100. So I'm just gonna work this into my brush. This is a Zoeva 102 brush, and just buff this into my skin. This is the foundation of life. I love this product so much. It's a little bit light for me, but because I'm doing highlight and contouring in this video, it's okay. I mean, it's not massively off. I could do with it being a teeny bit deeper, but it's fine. On my jawline, I'm using my Bobbi Brown Stick Foundation in Chestnut, which is number 9, and I literally just do a swipe like that, and then use the same brush and buff that in as well. Also, I'm going to stop here and pause for a second and just say a few things. This is how I highlight and contour. You may have a completely different routine or technique, and that's fine, you can do it that way. I will say this though, when you highlight and contour, think about what you're trying to do to your face, what the purpose is of highlight and contour. It's not a new technique, it just seems to be all the rage recently, but it's about light and how that affects your face. Anything you make lighter, you bring forward. Anything you make darker, you make recess into your face or into the shadows. I never highlight my forehead because, as we can see, my forehead has its own natural highlight, so I never put highlight here. I don't really put makeup on my forehead either, and that's my personal preference. Do what works for you. If you want to make your forehead look higher, which I definitely don't, highlight your forehead, but think about what your face needs. I just like to brighten underneath my eyes, sculpt out my cheekbone a bit more and make my jawline a bit sharper, and that's pretty much it. I'm not into nose contouring. I've done a rant about this on another video before. I just don't want to perpetuate this ideal that you need to have European features to be beautiful, so I don't contour my nose. If you feel like you need to contour your nose, but I don't do mine for that particular reason. I think that is enough talking. I'm going to get back to the makeup. So for highlight and concealer, I don't do 2 layers. I see people that use like a base concealer first to highlight and then another one on top. This is not something I do every day, I'll state that first. And I don't use a lot of makeup. This is like the most I would ever do. So I just go back to the same foundation brush and I like to stipple the bottom of the concealer and make sure it's really blended into the skin, and do it on this side as well. And you can see it's just adding some light to my face. And then I'm going to go right under with the same brush. You can use a smaller brush if you want to. I probably should have switched over, but I didn't, I forgot, so I'm just going to continue using this brush. I always put a bit of concealer on my lid just to neutralise it, makes it a bit brighter. Another disclaimer, if you have a lot of pigmentation in this area in your face, you need to address that first before you move on to your complexion and then your highlight and contour. I can't stand it when I see someone that's highlighted and contoured their face, but they haven't done any colour correction. So they've got like this ashy lower part of the face, and then they've just gone and put like a lighter foundation or concealer, which makes it look even ashier. Like, address any pigmentation first, sort that out, do your skin, and then do your highlight and contour after. That's a pet peeve of mine. I'm going to use a tiny bit. I have quite a pronounced chin, so I don't do a lot of chin concealer. I literally do that. And that is pretty much how I highlight my face. It's not like a dramatic or drastic difference in how I look, and that's how I like my highlight and contour to look. I want people just to believe that I look this buff, but actually it's all makeup. Right, so I am taking a smaller brush, a 110 Face Shape brush from Zoeva, and I am now using my Nars Khartoum foundation. So I like my contour to start here. Actually, if you feel your face, if you run your index finger, you'll feel, oh, just learned something today, but yeah, you'll feel where your contour is. And how to determine where to stop it When you open your mouth like this, as soon as you can feel the gap, which is here, that's where you stop. I didn't know that. Before I just used to use the corner of my eye, but it's the same place that when you open it, you feel the hinge of your jaw. It probably looks really weird, but that's where you stop. So I'm going to go in. I always start at the back and brush upwards. So I'm applying it with one brush, and then I'm going to blend it in with the same brush that I use for my foundation and my concealer. That's enough. That's what I like. I'm going to do my jawline a little bit. And really buff that in. And I like to do the temple as well. And that will just accentuate this highlight here. So actually I want to just do this so you can see there's definitely a recess here, in here, and my jaw looks really sharp in comparison to this side. Not as much definition, so don't know if you can see it if I look head on. Contoured and highlighted, just highlighted. So I'm going to repeat the process on the other side of my face. If you want to, you can make your forehead shorter if you have a long forehead like me. You just take this darker foundation and just put it on the hairline and then just buff it in, and it will just create a bit more of a shadow. I'm going to go in with another layer of concealer just in here. See if I can make these eye bags disappear a little bit more. This is a 142 concealer brush from Zoeva. And just buff that in there. I'm going to clean off the excess foundation just onto a paper towel. And just stipple that all in to make sure that it is nice and blended. That's how I do my highlight and contour. It's really that simple. I'll just explain some of the placement a bit better. I like my highlight to start in the corner of my eye, but I don't blend it out further really than the edge of my brow on both sides. I like my contour to start really, really far back. I hate when there's a gap between the contour and the ear, so I kind of start it on the ear and bring it forward. Same thing, don't go past the outer corner of the eye for the contour. Think about your face shape. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make things wider or slimmer? I've made my forehead look a little bit shorter by just shading my hairline, and that's it. I like to use all cream products. So if I'm doing highlight and contour, I never do like my base in a liquid and then highlight and contour with powder. I don't think it marries very well. I think if you use creams and liquids together, you get a much more cohesive finish to your makeup. So that's the way that I prefer to do it. I always do it in liquids or creams and then set everything with powder. So now we're going to set. I am moving on to my Cover FX Power Play No, Stace, it's not the Power Play. My Cover FX Matte Setting Powder in Deep. And I'm just going to use this underneath my eyes. I love this powder. I actually really like Cover FX. I was sent all of this stuff in PR, but it's actually become like my favourite thing to use. I love this powder, how fine it is. It goes on the skin so beautifully. I like to mattify the end of my nose. I don't like a shiny nose tip. So I'm basically using this powder on everywhere that I used my concealer and just my normal foundation, and then just on the middle of my forehead. Then I'm taking the Danessa Myricks Evolution powder, and this powder is gorgeous too. In number 5, it's really rich and deep, and I'm just going to use that to reinforce the contour that I've done all over my face. I like to use quite open and fluffy brushes for powders like this so that you don't get too much payoff too quick. I think that's another thing that's really useful as well to take note of. So guys, there you have it. That's how I naturally highlight and contour my face. I never, ever, ever want it to look like I've done anything to manipulate my features. But we want a little bit of makeup helps. So I like the finish that it gives, but I don't want it to look like makeup. And I think that for me, anyway, this is how I achieve that on myself. Now I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup off camera and get back to you guys. So guys, I've just quickly put on a lip, liner, mascara and brows just to finish off because I gotta do the little posy pictures at the end. If you want to see or learn how to do eyeliner, I have a video. Here's one I made earlier. I'll leave a link for you here. And I've also done one on how to wear bright lipstick, so I will leave a link for that video here for you too. I hope this video was helpful just to show you that you can highlight and contour in a really natural way that you can't see from outer space. There's no caking, no baking, no flour powder, none of that stuff. Just regular makeup and just changing your technique a little bit. This is how I do natural highlight and contour on myself and on most of my clients. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have much more to say. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.